Alright, I'm going to make this short and sweet because I was recording a 10-minute video while I was driving, and then the phone for some reason decided to stop recording 18 seconds into the video, so I don't have that video anymore. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We're going to stick to brass tacks. So Shay, this is the first topic I want to talk about. Shay, I'm not a super fan. Don't get that impression. I already told you why I donated $14,000 to you. I wanted to drain my bank account. And I should give some backstory first. And I know I already explained this to you before, but I'll explain it one more time. I wanted, several weeks ago, or a month ago actually, now, it's what, a month now? Yeah. A month ago, I wanted to terminate my tenure with this institution called Planet Earth. But to do that, I had to get really drunk first because it's hard to do that. And I failed to follow through with my plan, but I succeeded in sending a random streamer $14,000 because, well, initially it was $2,000, right? So it ran, So I had to do this over several attempts. My goal was to drain my bank account, and I didn't know who to send it to. I didn't want to send it to anybody that I had on Cash App already, because they're all a bunch of assholes, and they don't deserve it. And so I thought, well, let me see, maybe I'll donate to a streamer, and then to kill two birds with one stone, since Cringeosaurus is a bitch who has publicly claimed that I'm broke and living on welfare and have housing vouchers to pay for my housing. I thought, well, I'll kill two birds with one stone. If I donate to somebody within the IP2 community or the adjacent community, maybe word will get around who the donator is, and then, oh, look, this person's donating, look, the big spender. And then maybe, she would have to eat her own shit just a tiny little bit. So that was literally my thought process. And then, like I mentioned, I was drunk when I did that. Usually I'm not drunk. I'm not sure if you understand that either. I'm not typically drunk most of the time. Most of the time that I'm alive, I am sober. Okay, and I'm not a super fan. I literally just clicked on your YouTube. I clicked on YouTube. I saw that, I saw your channel, one of your videos, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll click here because I know that she has a Cash App, and I know that she wants money. And I'm not sure, for the other people watching, this is not the first time that I donated to, because she had actually given me her personal Cash App link too, because 3 months prior to that, so 4 months from now, 4 months ago, I donated $20 asking to be unblocked, and I donated to her public Cash App, right? And I donated $20, and then so on her fucking live stream, she goes, "Oh, it's a kind of a shitty donation, but it's not terrible. It's not like the worst donation in the world." Just this cunty entitled attitude. So I followed that up with $200 after that, and then I said, "Is that better?" And she didn't even acknowledge it. So I followed it up with $1,000 and said, "Is that better? Will you unblock me now?" Because I've done that before. If I'm blocked, I'll donate $20 to them to get unbanned. Basically, is what that's something I do sometimes. And most of the time, the person who's streaming is not a total cunt about it, and they'll unblock me. Basically, is what I'm saying. And then you did this, oh my God, how much money? Let me give you my personal, and here's my phone number, and blah blah blah. So that was why I had that Cash App account linked in the first place. All right. And I don't really watch your streams that much. I'm like, over my entire lifetime, I probably watched, 30 minutes grand total. If you added all the time I spent watching up, at that point at least, probably 30 minutes. And it usually was like in, short, 10-second segments. So I click, what is this streamer doing now? Oh, she's walking around Skid Row. It looks like she, walking around in Skid Row. I don't know, not really saying anything that interests me. Not really interested in whatever you're talking about. Let me watch something else. And usually when I watch live streams, I'll just read the comments. I'm not even watching the stream anyway. Or I'm doing something, or it's running in the background. But usually if it's something that's running in the background while I'm doing other things, I'll listen to like a podcast rather than a live stream. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify those things. I really want nothing to do with you. I don't like you that much. I don't really care about you. I don't dislike you. I don't like you. I'm pretty ambivalent, but I would prefer it if I never heard from you again. I kind of don't ever want to hear anything about you for the rest of my miserable, hopefully short life. So get that clear. I'm not interested in whatever bullshit you want. So, and I just want to dispel some bullshit that somebody had said that I was paying streamers to gain favors. So they're speaking in code. They're saying the word favors. And if you just apply a little bit of logic to that, it really doesn't make sense. If I wanted to do that, why would I choose someone who lives, 2,500 miles away and has no means of traveling here in the first place, and I have no means currently of traveling there. I guess I do have the means, but I don't want to, and I have no plans on doing so. I don't really like Los Angeles. I lived, and that's actually another thing. When I say I'm from Los Angeles, what I mean is the greater Los Angeles metro area. People use the name of the city to refer to the metro area, the greater area, colloquially, and that's called a misonymy. You could look that up too. It's not incorrect to say that. Yes, it is technically, I lived in a different municipality than Los Angeles. But, if two people from the greater metro area, if people from the greater metropolitan, who reside in the greater metropolitan area known as Los Angeles, the greater metro area, which includes surrounding cities, and they're talking to each other and they ask where they're from, they will say the name of their city. But if they're talking to a stranger that lives in another fucking state and they ask, where are you from? Usually they will say Los Angeles. And typically when people are talking normally or writing, posts on social media, which are not like academic journal articles or court documents, so that it's not like, it doesn't, the standards of technical accuracy are different depending on context. They will not say, I live in the greater metropolitan area near Los Angeles. What they will say is, I'm from LA. Okay, and that's just my experience. Maybe if you grew up in a shithole like Michigan, okay, that's the state of Michigan, and Taylor, Michigan is a city in the state of Michigan, so that's not incorrect either. That's also true. Then maybe you have a different experience. Maybe people just talk differently there. I don't really know. I don't really give a shit. I think you're a fucking idiot. You're brain damaged. You're a vigilante. You have, you're highly narcissistic. You think people are supposed to give a fuck about you just because once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, you used to play the keyboard in gay bars. So that makes you a big fucking deal. No, it fucking really does not. It really doesn't make you a big deal. And nobody is like required to give a shit about who you are, who whose dick you sucked to, try to get a record deal, but that fell through anyway. So yeah, I don't really give a fuck about you. Fuck off. You're an idiot. And And as for Shay, I'm not trying to be rude, really. I'm just explaining this to you. I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to hear from you again. This will be the last video I make on YouTube, by the way. I'm not going to make any more videos. I'm not interested in doing YouTube stuff anymore. It used to be fun for a while, or was fun for a short time. But, you know, everything has to come to an end eventually, so that's it. And I'm not interested in, and yeah, like, and again, I'm not trying to be rude. I don't dislike you. And I respect anybody who goes out there and puts everything online. And for entertainment, I respect people who are entertainers who put themselves out there on YouTube. To the extent that live streamers do, I don't think that's something to be scoffed at. It's not like it is kind of a big deal to do that. It is kind of admirable in a way, and so I respect anybody who does that. But other than that, yeah, I don't really care. I don't really care about your channel or your content or you. And maybe you should go to a doctor and get your tuberculosis. Maybe you should actually listen. Just a word of advice that just here's some advice you didn't ask for. Maybe you should listen to when doctors tell you that you have some infection, a bacterial infection. Maybe you should not presume that you're smarter than them and that you know more than they do because they're professionals. And because what would a professional know? Okay, so that's my advice. Sayonara.